G'day guys, I'm Grouse and this is what I call Grouse Garage. Sitting right here is my 1978 C3 Corvette that's going to get a full restoration and LS1 swap with 4L60E transmission. I'm going to do it all in a monthly blog style video. Every month I'm going to film progress along the way for the Resto and for the LS swap. I'm going to put it together each month in a little blog style video, something different for the channel. Haven't really done videos in that format before. So that's all coming up on the channel. This is number one of many. Hope you enjoy.
There you go. Oh! Oh! Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
So, this is the carpet that I removed, and you can see it's pretty grubby and crusty. And under the carpet was this stuff. Here is some of what I found in terms of. Look at that. That's like flaky rust, or it appears that someone has at some point put some coating on the floor, and it's actually rusted underneath that coating and trapped all that moisture. And this is obviously carpet underlay with some sort of foil, I don't know, heat-proof material on top. This has just soaked up moisture and just absolutely rusted the shit out of my floors. This one over here will show it better. Check this out. Oh my gosh, look at all of that scale, that rust scale, and that is literally part of the floor that has rusted and scaled up. And yeah, look at that. So inspecting the birdcage, I looked at those areas and thought it's not too bad. I can live with that. A little bit of surface, needs a little bit of treatment. And then as I pulled the carpet and this underlay back, I found something far more concerning and serious that needed attention. Now that the Corvette was back in Grouse Garage, it was time to inspect these floors, scrape away some of this horrendous coating, check out how much rust there was, and see how much work I had ahead of me. So, inside the car, let's jump around here and have a look in here, and I'll hopefully be able to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this is the driver's side. This is actually the better of the two sides. Along in the footwell area here, you can see there are some holes where I've punched through, and there's also, if I push my hand on that floor pan, you can see there is a little bit of flex in it, and that's probably because all that rust scale has basically made the metal floor thinner than what it originally was. So this needs attention, and not something to be bodged with fiberglass over the top or anything like that. This needs new metal. This back part here where the seat fits and your bum is, it's not too bad. You can actually see it's only a little bit of surface rust there, and there was no thinning of the metal. This part here, no, this is actually pretty good as well. It literally is just surface, and I'm going to whiz over it with a flap disc, and I think that will come out fine. So the footwell here on the driver's side certainly needs to be replaced, but not that whole floor pan. Let's jump around to the passenger side now, which is far worse. All right, on the passenger side, I have to use the torch because it's fairly dark in the garage today. Now this is a lot worse than the driver's side, and I am still debating whether to attempt to patch this floor pan or cut the whole thing out and weld in a new one. Let's start with down the front here in the footwell. Now you can see it's rusted in a very interesting area, a very unusual area. There must have been a lot of moisture trapped right up on the side of that footwell, where the footwell and the tunnel, transmission tunnel, meet, and it's rusted all the way through along in a line like that. Now that to me is very strange. I would normally expect the actual floor pan, the lowest part of the floor pan, to rust out. So there must have been a lot of moisture trapped in that area there, and it has flowed back here along the transmission tunnel, along the edge of it, where the front of the seat mounts are, and you can actually see there's a crack. You can actually see, yeah, that's cracked through there. So if I can show you right there, that's cracked, quite noticeable now. And yeah, so the more I poke at this and try and figure it out, the more I think I'm going to need a new floor pan on this side. Now let's talk about those floor pans and how much they cost here in Australia. Alright, so there are plenty of places in the US, and you guys watching in the US and Canada, you would know that you can get floor pans for these. I think I've seen them quite regularly showing up online in various different parts stores for anywhere from $350 US each to, or maybe 400, around about 400 US dollars each. And from what I can gather, the best deal online at the moment would be 350 US with free delivery. You guys are lucky, let me tell you. So when you convert US dollars to Australian dollars, you're going to find that 350 US is getting very, very close to, that's pretty close to 1,000 Australian dollars. So that's just for the floor pans. So for that passenger side floor pan that I want to, or I think I should replace, I'm looking straight up, I'm looking at about 1,000 Australian dollars, not including shipping. Shipping from the US to Australia is a very expensive exercise. I just can't understand why that is so expensive. I know it's a great distance from the US to Australia, but yeah, if you buy parts out of China, you can get stuff shipped very, very cheaply. So anyway, shipping for that floor pan, I think, is going to push. I think I've seen, when I've done some online quotes, I think it comes in at around 320 US just for shipping of one floor pan. And then you've got to add 10% tax onto that, which is the Australian goods and services tax. So you're adding 10% onto that, and for one floor pan, I think it's going to cost me, I think it comes to about 1,200 Australian dollars. Yeah, about 1,200 Australian dollars for one floor pan. I did get a price for both floor pans, both sides, and that was going to cost me, the two of them in the same shipment is a little bit more economically friendly, and that was going to cost about pretty close to $2,000, just under $2,000, 2,000 Australian dollars for floors. Now, that's a hard pill to swallow, seriously. And so you might then understand why I'm interested in patching the driver's one, at least, rather than just biting the bullet and going new floor pans.
Thanks, Tim.
Still with those floors every day. Go ahead, look at that hole. Right, ready? Just yeah, I got it. Right.
Another too far.
Going straight to the garden with it.
I love this.
Eh?
I love it.
So undo those.
Yeah. The flat ones.
Yeah, so undo those there instead of those there.
Yeah.
Alright, let's try that.
You need to know what I'm standing. You just wait.
And yeah, just tilt it forward a bit more.
That's it.
Let's let it go for a sec. Is that as far as it goes, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's because that bloody condenser's there. Okay, that's alright. So I need that socket though. Okay, up. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, we go over.
Just take it slow.
Yep. Well, that was the bonnet falling over. Okay, can we now lift this up and now?
We can have a go.
It's gonna catch on these vacuum actuators, so it's got to like slide flush against this. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Well done, thank you. So it's pretty butchered.
We get lost in the system.
All right, there's progress happening. We're a couple of weeks since the Corvette arrived here at Grouse Garage, and I'm stuck straight into it to get some things done. A little bit all over the place at the moment in terms of what I'm doing. Things will settle down and I will fall into a routine for restoration progress and then LS swap progress. But for now, I guess I'm a little bit excited and I'm just ripping into everything to discover what is ahead in terms of work, and there is certainly more work ahead than what I first thought. All right, I'm going to cut this right there.
So is there a way to bypass it all this with the new exhaust?
Well, it goes straight out the back. So they've cut it there. They've cut it right there and just angled these ridiculous, stupid hot dog mufflers out the side. But it's supposed to keep going straight from this point here. Keep going straight under the diff, and then out the back.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I'm going to, I want this to be quiet.
Yeah.
I want this car to be quiet. I want it to be quieter than what the Commodore was.
Yeah.
And I've already bought headers for this, and they're smaller headers than what the Commodore had because they were ridiculously big. And I kept the cat converters out of the Commodore, the standard Commodore exhaust, to put into this because, again, I don't want issues with registration and emissions and all that crap.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go, I've got smaller headers, I've got the standard cats, and then it'll be some pretty hefty mufflers to keep it quiet. Yeah. And that way it'll be powerful but a nice quiet cruiser.
Yep.
That's the plan. Also, the plan is to cut this out right now. Oh my.
My excuse, and I'm
There we go.
sticking with it.
It's one side out. I think these will just go in the bin as well. I can't see much value in these.
I can't imagine there'd be a second-hand market for
No.
it.
I'll take that out too. And that's a wrap, guys, for the first month of many for this C3 Corvette restoration and LS swap. From the first video I dropped about a month ago, I do know that the viewership is going to be different for the channel for this build. I already know that the majority of viewers that watched the first video on this C3 Corvette were from the US or Canada, and then it was Australia and New Zealand. So everything else I've done on this channel has really been Aussie-based content. So welcome to you guys from the States and from Canada and from Europe and for other places. And make sure you stay on the journey of this build so that every month you can see how the progress is going on my Resto and LS swap. See you then.